Hi everyone, welcome to Mr. Shin's class. Okay, today we're going to learn about the dot plot, how to analyze and compare the two dot plot data. Alright, so let's start. In this dot plot, what you need to discuss about is symmetry, skewness, whether it's to the right or left, how many peaks there are, okay, and you have to use the term saying unimodal, bimodal, multiple peaks, and so on, and talk about the spread. Okay, let's have a look what I mean by that. Okay, so here there's a data of the dot plot. Okay, it's birth months of the newborn babies, and if you have a look, each individual dots, okay, that represents a newborn baby. So for example, say first one over here, they're the babies born in January, February, March, and so on, all the way to December. And if you count up how many all the way, say there were about like say what, 33. So 33 newborn babies were born in January, maybe 29 in February, and so on. Okay. Alright, so sketch of this shape is you draw a very thick line as if you put the very thick blanket on top of the starter. Okay, then it's gonna look like this square rectangular shape, right? These sort of data, we call it uniform. Okay, because that's like kind of even out. There's no specific peak. Okay, there's no specific mode. Okay, how about this one? Have a look at this dot plot. Right, it's symmetrical, left and right. So the mode is at around 51-ish or 52 over here. Okay. Mode, what does mode mean? Mode means the most frequent value that was appeared. So obviously that was around 52-ish, okay? And it's fairly symmetrical, left and right. Okay, and vividly we have one specific peak at around 52-ish. Yep, so if it has only one peak, it's called unimodal. Here's a stats term, unimodal, symmetric. Okay, symmetrical, left and right, it's fairly equal. Unimodal means having one peak. Right, there you go. If you put the very thick blanket on top of that data dot plot, it will look like this. Okay, have a go at looking at this shape. Right, if you put the very thick blanket on top, it's gonna look like this, right? Okay, how many peaks there are? There are 2 peaks. One in, let's see if I can draw, one in here, there's one pick, and there's another pick over here. Okay, if I have 2 peaks, then I call it bimodal. Here's a summary. So if you see one peak in your dot plot, we call it unimodal. 2 peaks, bimodal, right? And if there are more than 2, like say 3, then there are multiple modes, okay? And for example, in bimodal, okay, if one peak is higher than the other, we can call it major peak, or the other one minor peak, okay? So this you need to write it down, including all those explanations and pictures along so you can understand. Right, next one. What if the data is not symmetrical or uniform? Okay, if it's not symmetrical, then it's skewed to either way. So it will be either right skewed or left skewed. Okay, so let's have a read. A distribution is left skewed when its values are more spread out on the left hand side, whereas right skewed the values are more spread out on the right hand side. Let's have a look. Okay, This is symmetrical. It's fairly even out on the left and the right hand side. Whereas left skewed, okay, have a look at this. Where do I have the tail? Say, okay, let's use another color, green, right? Say if there's dots all the way, where's the majority of the data? It's concentrated on here, okay? And if I draw the thick blanket on top, okay? If I put the thick blanket on top, then where's my tail end up? On the left hand side. That's why we call it left skewed. Okay, this one again, right? I'm gonna put thick blanket. Okay, where's my tail? Where's my tail? This is my tail, right? It's on my right hand side, so I call it right skewed. Okay, let's again sketch the shape, put the very thick blanket on top. What would it be? Right skew or left skew? So my tail is on the right hand side, so therefore it's right skewed. Okay. How about this one? Yep, right skewed. And on the right hand side it's left skewed because the tail is on the left. Okay, then analyze this one. What would it be? Have a think about it. Right? How many peaks there are in the first one? I have one peak. Yeah, I call it unimodal, right? Right, next thing, what have we learned? Is it symmetrical? No, not really. Okay, it's not symmetrical. That means it's skewed. Is it left skewed or right skewed? Yep, I have tail on the left, so therefore it's left skewed. Okay, that means majority of data are concentrated on the right hand side. Okay, I'm not sure whether you can read this number. Okay, majority of the data is concentrated around here, so which is around 75 to 82-ish. Okay, so you can add the values in when you are analyzing the data. Right, okay, next one. How many peaks there are? Second picture. There are two peaks. I'm going to call it bimodal. Okay, so I have one major and minor, one major and around, what is it, 80? Yep, around 80, and one minor one around 53-ish. Okay, so we covered uniform shape, symmetrical, skewed, okay, all those things. Lastly, if you look if they are all not one of these, it's called irregular shape. So if you often see many modes, okay, but it's not uniform, then it's irregular. Okay, so in here it says, for irregular shape, often larger sample is needed to define the shape of the sample. Okay, so let's have a think about why we need more sample for irregular shape. Let's have a look at the first example. It says minutes to eat breakfast. I think in total, this person only surveyed about 20-ish people, okay? Asked how many minutes they take to eat their breakfast. However, if this person surveyed 100 people or 200 people, okay, then he'll get more data and end up having more dots, like something like this, and maybe some more dots here. Then in that case, yeah, vividly we can say, yup, it's looking like a bimodal shape where people eat fast, okay, and finish eating in about 2 to 3 minutes, or people having big breakfast, or slow eater having around taking 10 minutes to have breakfast, something like that. You can analyze more. Okay, lastly, you need to talk about outliers as well. Okay, so what does it mean by outlier? Right, so majority of data are concentrated on the left hand side, right? And have a this one, the last one on the right hand side. Yeah, that one is the odd one out, right? Sometimes, according to the context, it's easy to explain. For example, say this is asking how many minutes it takes to get to school from students' home. Okay, so majority of people takes around 7 minutes to 10 minutes, right? Within that time. So they're living locally. However, one person is taking 17 minutes. Yeah? Maybe this person is out of zone, like catching ferry, catching buses to come to school. Yeah? Okay. Something like that you can explain in context. Okay, so dot plot is always linked with the box and whiskers. Okay, and later when we go back to box and whiskers, I'll explain further why. Right, so how do we measure whether it's outlier? Okay, then the rule for it is, okay, outlier 1.5 box past the box. So, okay, this is the width of the box. So I'm counting 1.5. So 1.5 of the box. Okay, so past this, past 1.5 box. So over here I have 4 outliers. Okay, so should I see whether I have extreme values or not? Okay, let's see. So that was a blue one, was the length of the box. So I'm counting 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so past beyond this length is called out extreme values, but as you see, we don't have any extreme values. Okay, so this is how you define how many dots are outliers and how many are extreme values, and explain about that. Okay, so over here, this fat monkey is an outlier because, you know, the weight is bigger, larger than all the others. And extreme values, monkey has to be more fatter. Okay, there you go. Look at this. This monkey is an extreme value, right? Okay, so to sum up, here's the language you need to describe in context. Okay, so you need to talk about whether the data are symmetrical or not, whether it's uniform, skewed, how many peaks there are by model, unimodal. Okay, and another important one is clustered, whether clustered means, you know, all the values are grouped together in one specific area. Okay, so we figured out how to analyze the dot plot, the shape of dot plots. Okay, so I want you to make notes in your workbook so that you know the features for the dot plot. Okay, then I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.